How's it going, everyone? It's the Anime Man. And welcome back to another episode of TheAnimeMan. This is the show where every season we go over the next season of anime and we talk about the shows that I will be watching, the shows that I won't be watching, and the shows that I genuinely just want to talk about because they might interest me or not interest me for whatever reason. And this is the moment where everybody goes down into the comments below and types, "Lol, imagine Joey actually watching anime. Ha 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 ha." Original comment. But as I mentioned in a recent Trash Taste episode, although I may not necessarily watch everything that I talk about in What Will I Be Watching, it is also a good indicator just for me to see what is coming up in the anime world so that I can see the changes, the shifts that they are going through with the tide of the general aesthetic and direction of the anime world for the next month. And this episode of What Will I Be Watching, of course, crowns the end of the year, which means that we will be talking about the fresh batch of anime that will be coming out for next year, specifically the winter season of 2022. God, I remember looking through the list of the winter season of 2012, and to think that we are already at 2022 kind of boggles my mind. But as always, we are over on livechart.me, sorting it through popularity as per usual, and I'll be touching upon just some of the series on this list. So if you'd like to follow along with me, then of course I've left the link to this particular website down in the description below. And without further ado, let's get into the list. Hey, it's me, here to let you know that this video is sponsored by Figure Fantasy, the first ever figure-themed 3D idol card game for mobile devices. Have you ever been staring at your anime waifu and husbando in figure form and thought to yourselves, damn, if only they came to life and fought in tactical real-time strategy? Well, Figure Fantasy lets you do just that with its innovative gameplay, high level of freedom, all whilst recreating that figure collecting experience for players. The realistic lighting and graphics make the characters really appear like real-life figures, with all of them supporting beautiful character designs and animations that will get any figure enthusiast enthralled. Everything from mecha, steampunk, school students, and period pieces, the vast collection of eclectic characters will keep your collector's spirit alive and well. And as an avid anime figure collector myself, this game has everything I want in a neat little package available on your iOS or Android devices. So if that sounds like something that you would enjoy yourself, then make sure to go over to the link down in the description below to check out the game. Thank you to Figure Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Back to the show. Alright, but right at the top of the list is a series that I was obviously expecting. It is Kimetsu no Yaiba, everyone's favorite Demon Slayer. I say that with a sarcastic tone, but genuinely, Demon Slayer I have thoroughly enjoyed these past couple of years. The TV series was absolutely brilliant. I went to go see the movie, really solid. Ufotable just kicking it out of the park, as per usual. And I guess this is a continuation of the movie with the 1 hour premiere episode, which I'm actually wondering where, in fact, they are going to start the series. Because for those of you who don't know, the movie that came out, I think like a year or two ago, was a direct continuation of where the first season left off, with the Mugen Desha, or the train arc, basically. It went over most, if not all of the train arc from the original manga, so I'm wondering if this season 2, which I believe Yukakuhen is season 2, if it's actually going to start from after the Mugen Desha arc and just continue on, assuming that all Demon Slayer fans have already seen the movie? Or are they going to pertain to the 1% of Demon Slayer fans that haven't actually seen the movie and actually start from the Mugen Desha arc and kind of do an abridged version of the movie? I'm not too sure, but either way, let's read the synopsis. Tanjiro and his friends accompanied the Hashira Tengen Uzui to an entertainment district where Tengen's female ninja agents were gathering information on a demon before they suddenly disappeared. In order to investigate, Tanjiro and the others disguise themselves as women to sneak in. As they close in on their target, the demon reaches out for the courtesans of the district. Wow, this is really sounding like a sneak mission. It's reminding me of like Jojo Part 2. But yeah, from the looks of it, it just sounds like the next arc. Now, mind you, I haven't read the manga whatsoever. I'm purely an anime only when it comes to Demon Slayer. So I don't actually know if Yukakuhen is directly after the Mugen Desha Hen, but from the sounds of it, it seems like they're just gonna skip over the Mugen Desha arc, assuming that all Demon Slayer fans again have seen the movie. Although I don't think the movie was like the most 10 out of 10, like, you know, biggest box office hit of anime ever material that it was. I thought it was still a pretty good movie, and I think all Demon Slayer fans definitely have to watch it. Alright, but the second one on this, and mind you, I'm sorting this out in popularity. For some reason, this is the second one. It's season 2 of Arifuretta. What? Why the fuck is this second in popularity on this list? Who in the actual fuck actually watched Arifuretta and thought to themselves, damn, this show is a banger. Not to be your stereotypical isekai hater or anything, but even in the massive cesspool of isekai shows that have come out in the past 5 years, Arifuretta was like the most basic. It was like genuinely the shittiest that I have seen in a very long time. It's just very bland, very basic. None of the characters are interesting. None of the world is interesting. The main character is just absolute power fantasy trash. So who in the right mind is looking forward to a second season? I barely made it through the first season. As surprising as this may be, out of the few series of anime that I have seen in the past couple of years, Arifuretta Season 1 was actually one that I did give a go. I think I got to like episode 9 before I realized that, oh, I might actually give myself a frontal lobotomy if I continued this any further. So yeah, it's just like boggling my mind how anyone can watch Arifuretta and think, yeah, this is definitely deserving of a Season 2. Faux show. Suffice it to say, I'm definitely skipping over this one. Because if there's any show that I will be watching in 2022, it is this one. Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. I mean, what can I say about Final Season Part 1 that hasn't already been said? Absolutely amazing. Mappa just knocking it out of the park. And just like the complete shift of all of the characters that we have come to grow on and love so much, just been completely tilted on its head, but for all the good reasons. It's kind of just insane just how ridiculous and outlandish the entire story has gotten, and it's I genuinely don't know where this story is going. Much like Demon Slayer, I am an anime only when it comes to Attack on Titan, and so I have no freaking idea how this show is going to end. So I've been looking forward to this, and I'm glad we are starting 2022 off with a banger that I will, for one time in my life, will actually be watching. All right, and I'm going to briefly go over this one, but I'm also going to check this one out as well. It's Shu Matsunoharam. I talked about this in a previous What Will I Be Watching, because this series right here got a very unfortunate hiatus, or I guess delay is the more correct term for it, because I believe this was supposed to come out in 2021, I believe the summer season, but I think I read or heard from a friend in the industry, I forgot which one it was, that this first episode of Shu Matsunoharam got delayed, I think like 3 or 4 days before the first episode was about to air. Like, that is some serious fucking last minute shit, and I don't know what happened. Maybe the TV station realized just how inappropriate this show is for TV, because this is one of the few shows that I am actually a manga reader of. Obviously, your boy has to represent the degenerates, you feel me? But yeah, I just don't know what happened that caused this show to become delayed so last minute, but I guess as long as nothing goes wrong again, we should be getting it early next year. I'm still trying to figure out, even after watching the trailer of this thing, I'm still trying to figure out how in the hell they are going to air this on TV without it being light blurs all across my screen for 15 out of the 22 minutes. So that's going to be really interesting to find out, but I'm looking forward to it as a fan of the manga. Next up we have is Genjutsu Shugyusha no Okoku Saikenki Part 2. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know when Part 1 came out, because I apologize if I have mentioned this title in a past What Will I Be Watching. That's how probably underwhelming this title and show looked to me. I genuinely don't remember when Part 1 came out, or when I even talked about it. I'm sure I talked about it in a previous What Will I Be Watching, because it's a Part 2. That means there should be a Part 1 somewhere, right? Let me know in the comments about it, because as of right now, there is no synopsis available by JC stuff, which is interesting. And yeah, I dead ass, no cap, don't even remember when the fuck I talked about this. All right, next up is, again, another series where I'm like, why? How is this a thing? And it is Mahoka Koukou no Rettosei Tsuyoku Hen, which I believe just from the title of this is a spin-off, yet another spin-off of Mahoka Koukou no Rettosei, the irregular of High School Magic, or whatever the fuck the English title was. A show that I just absolutely could not fucking stand, and to this day, again, much like Arifuretta, it boggles my mind why this show is this popular. It is some of the most bland, basic, just run-of-the-mill school sci-fi supernatural shows that I've ever fucking seen. The characters are boring as hell. Again, and I don't know what this Yokohan is. I assume it's going to be a little bit more in the romance, like serious side of things, just looking at the cover and reading the title. But it's going to be done by Studio 8-Bit. The air date is to be announced, but considering it's on this list, I assume it's coming out next year. But let's read the synopsis, because I have no idea what this is. April 2095. A century has passed since magic was established as actual technology. The two siblings enroll at a prestigious school for magicians called the National Magic University Affiliated First High School, better known as Magic High School. Tatsuya, the older brother, is an irregular with a fatal flaw to his magic powers. The younger sister Miyuki is a star student with unmatched magical talent, though they are now close enough to be mistaken as a couple. Just a few years ago, the two had a dysfunctional relationship where they were nothing more than a master and servant. One incident, however, alters their relationship forever. 3 years ago in Okinawa, an unforgettable experience turns their souls and destinies on their heads. So this basically just sounds like Mahouka Koko no Rettose Oreimo edition. It is literally the incest romance spin-off of Mahouka Koko, as if Mahouka Koko wasn't already an incest spin-off of every other isekai out there. Yeah, I'm sorry to whoever wrote this synopsis. I know you wrote it in like a very like serious, you know, posing it as like kind of a deeper show that has a lot of emotions packed into it, and I'm sure for a lot of the fans there is a lot of emotion packed into this, but as someone who just couldn't take Mahouka Koko seriously at all, I can't take this synopsis nor this spin-off seriously, so I'm gonna do a hard pass on that one. Next. Alright, finally, a brand new show. We have Shikakumon no Sakyo Kenja. It's another JC Staff series. Man, JC Staff's been on a roll recently. It's based off a light novel, is an action-adventure fantasy, and I am, again, praying to God it ain't an isekai. Can we just like start to just phase out isekai? It's 2022. We should be, you know, getting out of this phase by now. Not even the Moe Blob phase of the mid-2000s went on for this long. His strength limited by the magical crest which he was born, Matthias, the world's most powerful sage, decides reincarnation is necessary to become the strongest of all. God damn it! What did I just fucking say? Upon his rebirth as a young boy, Matthias is thrilled to discover he's been born with the optimal crest for magical combat on his first try. Unfortunately, the world he's been born into has abysmally poor standards when it comes to magic, and everyone thinks he's still marked for failure. Now it's up to Matthias to prove everyone wrong. World's strongest sage style. Oh my god. Can you blame me, guys, that I stopped watching anime? Like, can you really blame me when the top shows is shit like this for literally the past 5 years or so? You guys keep telling me, oh, there's great shows out there. You got to give some of these isekai shows a chance. Meanwhile, 2 weeks after the first episode comes out, we never hear about these shows ever again. Like, yes, I am aware that there are some good shows out there, and I have been watching some good shows out there. The problem is that they come so far and few in between that it's almost not even worth talking about it, because the majority of these lists for the upcoming seasons are filled with shit like this, and I'm getting sick of it, dude. How many times have I read this synopsis in the past 3 or 4 years? It's actually ridiculous. But yeah, I guess if you're an isekai junkie, you're probably flying off the walls right now in excitement. As for me, I am going back to bed. But not before we talk about the most important show of 2022, and that is, of course, David Productions' very own Jojo Part 6, Stone Ocean. Oh my god! I am so looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to it ever since it was announced, because it is my favorite JoJo part. Of course, every part has its amazing bits. I adore this series to bits, as you guys would know already. But my god, part 6 is just, it's so good. It's so goddamn good. And with how well they nailed part 5 and part 4 in the anime, I cannot wait for what David Production has in store for some of the scenes in part 6. And as you can see from the time I am recording this video, the first episode is coming out in 7 hours. So yeah, suffice to say, it's already out by the time you're seeing this video, so please go and watch it. I haven't even seen the first episode, and I know it's going to be killer. It's fucking JoJo. They never miss. In fact, by the time you're seeing this video, there's probably a video on my second channel of me talking about it. I haven't even seen it, and I'm already predicting the content that is going to be coming out on my channels by the time this video comes out. So please go and check it out if that's the case. And if I didn't make a video on JoJo Part 6 by the time you are seeing this video, be sure to go onto my Twitter and spam the fuck out of me for it. But let's read the synopsis in case you have no idea what the hell a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is. Florida, USA, 2011. After an incident while on a drive with her sweetheart, Jolene Cujo falls into a trap and is sentenced to 15 years at the state-run maximum security correctional facility, Green Dolphin Street Prison, aka the Aquarium. On the verge of despair, she receives a pendant from her father that causes a mysterious power to awaken inside of her. There are things in this world that are more terrifying than death, and what's happening in this prison is definitely one of them. A message from a mysterious boy who appears before Jolene, inexplicable events that occur one after another, and the horrifying truth told to her by her father when he comes to visit, and the name Dio. Will Jolene ultimately be set free from the stone ocean they call a prison? The final battle to end the century-long fateful confrontations between the Joestar family and Dio begins. Woo! Now, if that doesn't get your pants creaming, I don't know what will. I mean, this is obviously going to be banger, especially the fact that Part 6 so far is the only JoJo part with a female JoJo, who is, by the way, my favorite JoJo. Jolene is an absolute badass. And the side characters and the villain is so goddamn cool. What more can I say about Part 6 that hasn't already been said? It's a fan favorite. Everyone loves it. There is always that heated debate of which part is better, Part 6 or Part 7. I say both parts are just as good as one another, and if Part 6 anime nails it, oh my god, the Part 7 anime is gonna be French kisses all around, baby. So yeah, obviously this show is going to be amazing. I'm going to watch it immediately after it comes out. In fact, again, it's coming out in 7 hours, so I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. So yeah, I guess follow me on social media if you want to see updates on that. If you don't want to follow me on social media though, then please go and watch it, because it says here premieres on Netflix worldwide with the first 12 episodes at once. So go and check it out. A full 12 episodes coming out in one day. It's going to be freaking amazing. Alright, but up next we have Tensai Oji no Akaji Kokka Saisei Jutsu. It is a comedy fantasy. Oh, alright. Done by Yokohama Animation Lab. Man, these new studios just popping up like crazy, aren't they? It ain't easy being a genius. You know it. Prince Wine is ready to commit treason, and who can blame him? Faced with the impossible task of ruling his pathetic little kingdom, this poor guy just can't catch a break. Man can't get a dub. But with his brilliant idea of auctioning off his country, this lazy prince should be able to retire once and for all. Well, that was the plan, until his treasonous schemes led to disastrous consequences, namely accidental victories and the favor of his people. Oh, okay. That's kind of funny. Already that synopsis kind of gives me Konosuba vibes, where it's almost like a fantasy parody of sorts. And judging from the genre tags that they use, I think this is mostly going to be comedic based, which might be fun. I haven't seen a good comedy anime in quite a while now. Honestly, I think Konosuba was probably the last good comedy series that genuinely made me laugh out loud. So I think it might be worth giving this a go and seeing if it's my cup of tea. All right, up next we have Sono Biscui wa Koi o Suru. I've actually heard a lot about this series, or rather a lot about this manga. A lot of you guys actually over on my Twitter have been telling me to check out this manga, which unfortunately as of right now I haven't, but hopefully we can check out the anime and it'll be good. It's done by Cloverworks, which you know, as we know, as much as I love them, you know, I got to tour their studio not too long ago, and they were great on that front, but they've had a little bit of mishaps these last couple of years, but hopefully they can make a comeback with this series. Traumatized by a childhood incident with a friend who took exception to his love of traditional dolls, doll artist and hopeful Wakana Gojo passes his days as a loner, finding solace in the home ec room at his high school. To Wakana, people like beautiful Marin Kitagawa, a trendy girl who's always surrounded by a throng of friends. A throng? Not gonna lie, I thought that said a thong of friends. I was like, oh, I've never heard of that expression before. A trendy girl who's always surrounded by a throng of friends is practically an alien from another world. But when cheerful Marin, never one to be shy, spots Wakana sewing away one day after school, she barges in with the aim of roping her quiet classmate into her secret hobby, cosplay. Will Wakana's wounded heart be able to handle the invasion from this sexy alien? Okay, that's interesting. I can see why a lot of you guys were telling me to check this out, because it's about a guy who likes sewing, who is then put into cosplay. I can see why a lot of cosplayers would find this anime to be interesting. It's almost like an anime about cosplay, which I don't know if we've had before, right? I feel this is a topic that should have had an anime for already, but now that I think about it, I can't really think of a series that focuses strictly on the cosplay side of things, whereas this one definitely seems like it's going to be falling into that territory. But also not done in like a cliche type of way, considering that it does have the seinen tag, which means that it is going to be a little more for the adults, which, you know, I'm completely okay with. And, you know, I always welcome a fresh new concept to an anime series, especially again after the cesspool of isekais that we've had in the last couple of years. Anything new or even remotely interesting looking definitely just catches my eye immediately. And again, I can see why a lot of you guys were telling me to check this manga out. So yeah, I guess I will check the first couple of episodes of the anime and see if it's any good, and I'll continue watching it. And if not, I'll check out the manga as well. All right, up next we have Kenzan Odessi or Nanoru Kenja by Studio ACAT. It is an adventure fantasy, and I'm already getting a lot of isekai vibes, but let's read the synopsis. It might just be regular fantasy. Going by the name Dunboff, he's known across the land of this virtual world. Didn't even give me a full sentence before throwing the isekai thing, you know? Alright, I see how it is. But one night before bed, Kakami uses an in-game vanity case that's about to expire, opting to create his ideal version of a female Dunboff avatar for fun. Waking up, he's surprised to find that he's now in the body of the avatar he created the night before, and he'll have to work his way from the bottom up. So he's a young dude playing an old dude, who is now playing a young girl, who is still that old dude. Like, even the synopsis isn't sure what the fuck this show is about. He's like, wait, so he's a young dude playing as an old dude, but now he's a girl, but he's still an old dude in the body of a young dude. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, I already had a bad feeling when I saw the word Kenja, because, you know, the amount of really bland fucking shows with that word in its title. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on this one. I just can't be asked to put in the time to watch another generic fucking isekai show. I'm sorry. Alright, but up next we have Karakai Jojo no Takagi-san Season 3. I feel like there was quite a bit of a gap between Season 2 and Season 3, right? I know Season 2 and Season 1 came out very close to one another. At least that's how it felt to me. And now we're getting a Season 3, I guess. I did actually quite enjoy Karakai Jojo no Takagi-san. I didn't actually finish Season 2. I thought Season 2 definitely wasn't as strong as Season 1, in my opinion. But I did enjoy Season 1 a lot. So I guess now that Season 3 is coming out, I might have to go back and finish Season 2 so that I can opt in for Season 3 as well. But yeah, I mean, it's an adorable show. The sexual tension between the main two characters is unbearable. I'm just biting my nails in anticipation of when it's going to happen. It's like watching two of your mates that you know should be together, just having fun with one another. It's very wholesome and heartwarming to see. But up next we have the Liardale no Daichi Nite. I don't know how you would pronounce that first word, but this cover is gorgeous. By Maho Film, but let's read the synopsis. After being put on life support after a tragic accident, Ken Akagami's only freedom comes from the VR MMORPG Liardale. Ah! Why? Why? I just can't get a dub. I get a dub today, man. Curse me for thinking that this was going to be like some kind of diving anime, something kind of interesting with like unique aesthetics. No, it's a motherfucking isekai again. One day her life support system shuts off and Kina passes away. When she wakes up, she finds herself in Liardale 200 years in the future as the high elf Kina. With lost skills but incredible stats, she must forge relationships with the residents of this new world, which shockingly include the children characters she designed herself. A leisurely adventure tale is about to begin, featuring a girl transported to a game world and the smiles and tears she shares with her quirky companions. Oh, I'm sure they are so quirky. God, how could I miss out on such quirky characters that are probably just fucking generic isekai characters again? Can we just stop? That's all I have left to say. Just stop. Please. All right, up next we have Orient. Ooh, look at this fucking cover. Dude, this is reminding me of some like mid-2000s shonen. This is like some Busou Renki types of aesthetics we got going on, dude. When unidentified creatures known as Kishin suddenly appeared in Japan, all of the most famous military leaders were killed in battle, and the end of the world seemed close at hand. Now, 150 years later, demons still rule the world, and only the band of Bushi continues to fight for freedom. Musashi and Kojiro, out of admiration for these brave fighters, strive to form the strongest band of Bushi in this classic battle action story of friends passionately chasing a dream. Ooh, okay, that sounds hype. I can get behind that. Hey man, nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned action fantasy shonen. If you ask me. I mean, you know, they brought back Shaman King recently, which I absolutely fucking adored. So much so that I actually bought all of the manga again to relive my fantasy of being back in my childhood, because it definitely gave me just like that classic action fantasy shonen style stuff that I grew up on. And honestly, depending on how ACGT, whatever this studio is, manages to pull this off, it might honestly give me that same nostalgic feel, because so far this cover is definitely giving me that nostalgic feel, that's for sure. So praying hands in the chat that this is somewhat of a good or at least interesting show. Alright, but up next we have Koroshii. Oh, it's a josei anime. Fuck, we haven't heard of a good josei anime in quite a while. I think After the Rain might have been like the last good josei anime we actually got. But this cover is very interesting. This does not look like a josei anime at all. Two assassins face off at a certain workplace: the cool beauty hunter Chateau and the mysterious and powerful Young Ha. Chateau and Young Ha become enemies after this fight, at least they should have. But for some reason, Young Ha takes a liking to Chateau and begins following her around. Little by little, Chateau develops a cooperative partnership with Young Ha, which gets her caught up in the struggle against the organizations hunting him down. Furthermore, that battle is related to her past as well. Why did Young Ha approach Chateau? What is Chateau's secret past? Two mismatched assassins weave together a twisted assassin x-assassin thriller. The strange gears of fate begin to move. This is kind of giving me like some Banana Fish vibes, to be honest. You know, not exactly the same plotline as Banana Fish, but definitely more of like a, you know, kind of that seedy undertones filled with this very like light-hearted mishap romance type of series. But this one is obviously more for the female audience. I mean, obviously Banana Fish as well was aimed at a female audience, but I feel this one is going to be a lot easier to step into compared to Banana Fish. As amazing as Banana Fish the show actually was, I feel for a lot of people it was kind of difficult to get into. And if you are one of those people, then I implore you to check out Banana Fish, because it is a fantastic show. But yeah, hopefully, considering that again, this Koroshii series is giving me those Banana Fish vibes, I'm hoping it might be just as good. I mean, Chateau is really pretty. She looks like if Saber from Fate turned into an assassin. So again, praying hands in the chat that this one is somewhat decent. Alright, up next we have Fantasy Bishoujo Juniku Ojisan to. What an interesting cover. Looks a little... It's giving me a little more isekai vibes, but let's find out. A dull old man and his handsome best friend were summoned to another world by a naked goddess. Of fucking course. However, because of the goddess's mischief, he has turned into a peerless, beautiful girl. To get back his body, he has to go on a journey with his best friend to defeat the Demon King, an old man that became a beautiful girl and an handsome old man. Let the madness-filled another world journey rom-com begin. So this is basically, again, taking the standard isekai trope and just, you know, trying to make it comedy-based, trying to make it quirky, ridiculous, a parody of itself. But for some reason, this one just isn't hitting as hard in terms of this. I don't know, maybe it's the way that the synopsis is written or whatever, or just like the cover of this is really strange looking, to be honest. But yeah, just again, we don't need any more isekai stuff. Just make it a fantasy. Why does the reincarnation element have to come in every time? When can we just get like a good fantasy story? That's all I want, man. That's all I want. I'm not asking for much. That's all I want in this world. All right, up next we have Battle on the Sword. It's a consecutive 2-course series, and it is a shoujo. Okay, it's based off a shoujo manga. I mean, yeah, I couldn't fucking tell that this is based off a shoujo manga. Again by JC Stuff. Damn, JC Stuff are really fucking going into second gear in 2022, aren't they? But let's read the synopsis. I have no idea what this is. Richard, the ambitious third son of the House of York, believes he is cursed, damned from birth to eternal darkness. But is it truly fate that sets him on the path to personal destruction, or his own tormented longings? Based on an early draft of Shakespeare's Richard III, this dark fantasy finds the man who could be king standing between worlds, between classes, between good and evil. Oh, that's interesting. It's like a shoujo manga variant of Richard III. Huh. Taking from Shakespeare's works and putting them into manga format definitely isn't a new thing that has happened. The last really good Shakespeare-based manga series we got was Zetsuen no Tempest, which is a fantastic both anime and manga series that I would definitely recommend. But yeah, this time we got a Richard III shoujo manga variant. Huh. I've read Richard III. I had to read it for school, and I'm just trying to remember it, and like it could be fairly interesting to turn it into like a shoujo manga style thing. So I guess we can check it out and see how it goes, because you know what? I'm always open for some shoujo. anime. There is a couple of shoujo anime and manga that I really enjoy, so you know, I might definitely give this one a go. Alright, up next we have Kaijinkai Hatsubo no Kuroi-san, a comedy sci-fi. Okay, very traditional, very simple looking. I have no idea what the fuck is going on in this cover though, because there are just so many things happening. We have a superhero with a giant sword, a cat girl, some military girl, some lizard people, a demon, a bird, I think, the Cyclops from X-Men, Asuna with braids, and it's all done by Quad Studios. Again, I've never heard of it, but let's read the synopsis. The manga centers on the Kuroitsu, an assistant researcher in the Superhuman Development Department of Agatsya, a villainous secret organization that battles with heroes who try to save the world. Kuroitsu lives a busy life in Agatsya, caught between the absurd requests of her bosses, making presentations, implementing new features into superhumans, and getting results within the allotted time, budget, and spec requests, all without vacation. Okay, that synopsis, for one, wasn't very well written because it didn't really give me all that much information. Like, I genuinely have no idea where this story is going to go, unless it's going to be, you know, these like single episode segmented comedy series, which it honestly might be, considering that the comedy tag is the first one we see there. But yeah, I genuinely can't even form an opinion or first impression about this because I'm like information overload on this poster and information underload on this synopsis. But up next we have Doll's Frontline, which I thought I recognized the title. It's based off a mobile game, I believe. But oh my god, look at this badass fucking cover, dude. Like these three girls up here, especially this maid in the middle, looks so fucking badass. The game's story is set in an alternate timeline near future Earth in the 2060s, the aftermath of a military accident that resulted in widespread disease, as well as the recent conclusion of careless nuclear war, has massively depopulated the planet, rendered much of the surface uninhabitable, and reduced once great nations to shadows of their former selves. Androids used for labor and combat have become an important facet of life, and easily replicable and disposable androids known as tactical dolls, or T-dolls, are used by private military companies in the front lines of numerous bushfire wars. In the game, the player takes the role of a fresh commander in a PMC commanding T-dolls to fight against a new AI threat. Okay, well that certainly set itself up to have a somewhat interesting premise for an anime. And I have heard that this game is actually pretty decent. I've never played it myself, but again, I've heard of the name. I think a couple of my friends actually played this game as well. So yeah, it could be cool. I always dig a good military anime, so yeah, might give this one a go, and if the anime sucks, then I might even give the game a go. Alright, I want to check this one out. Slow Loop. It is a slice of life sports anime. Just like looking at this cover, really giving me a throwback to, like, again, the mid-2000s Moe Blob era. And I don't know what sport they plan to play with this kind of very fluffy style, but I guess let's check out the synopsis. When Hiyori, a young girl whose deceased father taught her the joys of fishing, headed out to sea for some alone time, she never thought that she would encounter another girl there. After a while, this girl named Koharu and her end up fishing and cooking together, and they get to know each other a bit in the meantime. During their brief time together, Koharu finds out that the reason Hiyori went out to sea that day was because she's hesitant towards meeting her new step family that same evening. But what a coincidence! Koharu's also meeting her new family tonight. No, it can't be a coincidence. Follow these two sisters and their new life together. Oh, by sports they mean fishing. Okay, so this is a fishing Moe Blob anime. God damn, they can really make anything into a Moe Blob at this point. I'm just waiting for the Moe Blob wrestling anime that is eventually going to come out, because it's going to happen. See, I was a little bit hesitant on the whole fishing element because it's not really a type of topic or theme that might sound exciting in any way, especially for anime watchers. But then I remembered there was a fantastic fishing anime back in the day called Tsuritama, which I thoroughly enjoy, and I completely underestimated before actually starting to watch it. So it suffice to say, fishing does have its potential in anime. Whether that will prove to be successful in a Moe Blob form, in the case with Slow Loop, is yet to be said. But hey, Tsuritama was pretty good. This might also be pretty good. And last but certainly not least, I want to check out this one, Hakozume Kobanjoshi no Gyakushu, because it is done by the one and only Madhouse, which again is another studio that does not miss. Female police officer Kawai had enough of a career she wasn't even that into, and was about to hand in her registration. I think that's supposed to be resignation, when the unthinkable happened. She met the new female director of her station, and after spending a little time with this gorgeous role model, Kawai realizes that maybe she isn't quite done being being an officer after all. Wait, so this is literally just a fucking... This is literally just a slice of life of a female police officer falling in love with another female police officer. And they got Madhouse to do it for some reason. How the tables have turned. Usually Madhouse is pretty good at the whole like action element, right? Like with, you know, all the great big massive shows that Madhouse has done in the last couple of years that are just action packed with the most amazing sakuga. But looks like they're using their skills to make a police romance slice of life show. Hey man, Madhouse can do whatever the fuck they want to do. If they want to sit back and relax and make a slice of life, they are free to do so. I'm sure they'll somehow still make it more interesting than 95% of all slice of life that have ever been out there. But yeah, I just wanted to touch upon that because it's an interesting choice of studio for a series like this. And it might be good. Not too sure though. But I think we are going to leave it right there. Obviously, there are a ton more series coming out this 2022 winter season, which I didn't touch upon in this video. So again, if you are curious to see what else there is coming out next year, then again, check out the link in the description to this page. And I guess let me know in the comments below which shows you are looking forward to of the ones that I didn't mention or the ones that I did mention. Obviously, it goes without saying, but big shows coming out next year that I will actually be watching. Yes, I know, again, the meme is that I don't watch anime. It's not that I don't watch anime, I just don't watch the fucking mediocre looking ones. But I will be watching the new Kimetsu, the new Attack on Titan, Jojo Part 6, obviously, and other shows like Shu Matsunoharam and possibly Takagi-san Season 3. I don't know, man, it's always a big spike in the big shows and the shows that have a lot of potential that come out in the winter season. I feel the last couple of years, the winter season has really been some of the best material of anime for that year. The same goes with this year and the previous year from what I remember as well. Something about the winter season just hits different, dude. But if you would like to check out the rest of the first impressions that I had for the remainder of the 2021 anime, then I've left the link to all three of the other What Will I Be Watchings for 2021 down in the description below, so check it out. And I guess, yeah, let me know again which shows you are looking forward to, which shows you might not be looking forward to, and any other thoughts that you had on anything that I said in this video. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Like your favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for anime banter, keep watching anime. Johnny!